What's up? It's Amy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my experiences and what it's like just working in Yellowstone National Park. I do know COVID has changed a lot of plans this year, and if you are looking for another adventure or something to do next year that's different, I would definitely recommend checking out Yellowstone National Park. For today, for this video, I'm going to be talking about just the interview process, relocation, first few days on the job, and even just adjusting to living and being in a different state or atmosphere. I also have another note. I finally got a real haircut, so I think it looks great. It's been like over a year, maybe over a year and a half since I've gotten a professional haircut. Also, just another personal note, I did get a new camera. I'm super excited about it. I ordered a tripod and a microphone, and the tripod came in already, but I'm still waiting on the microphone, so hopefully once that comes in, the video will be a lot better quality. Without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the video here. First off, the application process. My mom actually told me about the opportunity. I believe she told me about it maybe earlier in the year, and I ended up applying. When I was in college, I was at this point where I could either graduate early in the winter, or I could take fewer classes and graduate in the spring, or I could take the fall semester off and just wait to graduate in the spring, and that is what I had decided. I ended up applying in 2018. Earlier in the year, I applied on Xanterra.com, and they have a career site. I also want to note this video isn't sponsored by Xanterra. I just want to share how to find this job and just share my experiences with you. If you are also interested, Xanterra is a big company. They work and have a lot of positions in other national parks. I'm just kind of scrolling on their website right now, and they have a location in Death Valley, Glacier National Park, Zion National Park. They have Mount Rushmore, and also the Rocky Mountains. I would say if you're interested, just to scroll through and look at the different positions. So even now on the first page, I see they have all sorts of different positions open at the Grand Canyon right now, and they also have a full-time resort concierge open in Death Valley. I'd say it's definitely something worth checking out. Next, I'm going to talk about the interview process. I had a phone interview. I think the only thing to note is that they are in Mountain Time and I'm in Pacific Standard Time, so that is just something to note so you don't miss the phone call. I don't think my interview was very long. It was maybe 15 minutes. So the man pretty much just asked me what I've been doing, what I'm doing in college, what I'm majoring in, and what kind of work experience I had. It's a pretty casual interview. I didn't feel too nervous about it. He made it feel very comfortable. And at the end of the interview, he pretty much was just like, I'm gonna go with my gut feeling. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go for it. You are hired on the spot. Pretty much after that, I just had to take a few days to think about it, just kind of gather my thoughts and process, and then I went ahead and accepted the offer. For relocation, I actually don't remember. It was like over 2 years ago. I don't remember if they reimbursed me for the flight. I flew from San Francisco, I flew into Salt Lake City in Utah, and then the last stop I flew into Bozeman, which is the closest airport to get to the park. I recommend you staying in the specific Holiday Inn because that is where they pick you up on a bus the next day. Next morning comes and the bus comes and we are all checked in. I do recommend bringing a snack just because it's a long bus ride. It took about 2.5 hours, maybe even more to get there because we did stop along the way. On the bus, there's a lot of different people. I think a lot of us ended up talking. So the first place we stop is Gardner. We went from Bozeman down to Gardner. That was where the HR office is, so we pretty much just showed all our documentation, went through the paperwork, we got our uniforms, we got size, we had everything we needed to be prepared to start working. After that, we pretty much just stopped in Mammoth. That is the topmost part of the park, and we had lunch there. There was actually a couple of people that were dropped off in Mammoth. Then we made our way, I think one person was dropped off in Roosevelt, another person was dropped off in Canyon. I was selected to work at the Old Faithful Inn. So we pull up, every site has their own HR department, so we pretty much were just assigned our houses, and the bus just dropped us off in front of our dorms, and we just pretty much got all settled in there. Next, I'm going to talk about adjusting and just the first few days of what to expect while working there. Pretty much we just had a full, I think it was a 2-day orientation. So that is where we got a tour of the property. We learned where all the food places are, where the employee recreational center is. Just learned all the details and stuff about dining and where to go for this and that. So that was the first 2 days. After that, I worked as a front desk agent, or they call it a guest service agent. So for that, we had a week-long training just to get to know the software and the program. After that, we shadowed before we officially got hands-on with the job, and it's kind of a lot to learn at first, but I had already learned I think 1 or 2 different softwares since I've been working in the hospitality industry, so I think I picked it up pretty quickly. I'm just going to touch a little bit on housing and dining next. For the housing, this place, I don't know if it's not really an apartment. So there's 2 people who share a room, there's a connecting bathroom, and there's also 2 people on the other side. So essentially you're pretty much just sharing a bathroom with 4 people. I think I kind of looked out a bit because there's only 1 girl on the other side for the most part. And on my side, a girl moved in a little bit later, but then she moved out. So I pretty much just had a lot of time and a lot of my own space to live in. I know they do have other options for housing. I know there are 2 kind of more modern buildings, which I think 2 of them have roommates, but they have their own bathroom. I don't think you really get to pick and choose where you live, but if you did decide or want to transfer over, you can definitely talk to HR and see if anything else is open if you did want to live somewhere else. So a little bit about dining. They had 2 dining areas you could eat at Old Faithful Inn, and breakfast, they were pretty much scheduled hours. So breakfast, I would say, was like 6:30 to 9. I think lunch was like 10:30 to 1, and then dinner was like 5 to 8 or something kind of like that. I don't know if you should expect great food. I would compare it to maybe eating in like a cafeteria or something, or if you went to college, like the cafeteria there. I didn't live in the dorm, so I'm not sure like how to compare it, but the food is, I guess it's okay, but not great. It is cafeteria food, but the people work really hard there to feed hundreds and hundreds of employees, so I think they do a great job at it. How housing and dining works, they take a bit out of your paycheck each month. It is not a huge amount. It's actually kind of surprising how inexpensive housing and dining was. You don't get paid a crazy amount though on your paycheck, but you're still getting money. I'm also just gonna say now, if you're doing this for the money, like that's just not gonna work. You have to either think a different way, or I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I guess it's not like a CEO, like high-tech job. Like I came from the Bay Area, and I guess my mind was like blown by the salary or just like cost of living out there. But yes, it's not for the money, it's more for the experience and just being able to travel and see a different state and stuff. So it's definitely more for the experience and what you get out of it than the money. Next, I'm just going to touch on adjusting to the environment. Pretty much just, I think after a few weeks, I just kind of got in the groove. So I had a pretty set schedule working the front desk. I worked 3 days early, 2 days afternoon shifts, and then I had 2 days off. So it was a pretty consistent schedule, so I knew what to expect. After that, that was pretty much it. I think adjusting for me, I think I adjust pretty easily. I just kind of got in my groove and always made sure to stay busy. We had a lot of boardwalks, we had a lot of hiking trails nearby, so on my off days or if I was off early, I would just kind of hit up all my friends at the front desk and see what they were doing. Sometimes I'd go out hiking with them, and even just hiking by myself. It was pretty peaceful just being out there. I'm gonna say another pretty important part about adjusting is really getting to know and meeting a lot of people. I would say there's people there for different reasons, some maybe not as good. I think other people are just trying to find themselves, and other people are just looking for the adventure. They really love being in nature, outdoors, and just travel. I really find some people that are similar to you. I'd find a really good group of people to hang out with. Working at the front desk, we had a great crew. We knew like everybody, so we knew everybody, and then there's 2 other lodges there. I think we're all a very tight-knit group. Even in the dorms and stuff, just like saying hey, just walking up to someone, just saying hi, like can I join you for dinner, like is this seat taken? Definitely made a huge difference just having people I could reach out to, or people that were around and wanted to do things for adjusting, because I felt like I belonged and I was comfortable and I was settled into my routine. So working as a front desk agent, it had 328 rooms. For the most part, maybe towards October it got a little bit less busy, but otherwise for the most part it was like always full. It was always booked. Sometimes it's hard to get a room there. Working at the front desk, it was a very highly trafficked place. So the geyser would go off and everything would be clear. Like maybe like 5 to 10 minutes before the geyser went off, everything would be silent. Then all of a sudden after the geyser erupts, everything is busy because everyone floods in and they need to use the restrooms, they want to look at the gift shop, or they need food or just any reason. They just all fled in after the geysers done erupting. Pretty much just worked 8-hour shifts. Just be prepared to always be busy, be on your toes. I really enjoyed the people I worked with, so I think that made a huge difference in my experience there. I guess pretty much just for the rest of the job, that's what I did. I just tried to be outdoors as much as I could on my off day. So I would just say be prepared to meet a lot of people from all around the world. It was a pretty amazing experience. Even working with people from all around the world was cool to do. So I think that's all I have now. I have just the main points I wanted to highlight for advice. The first one is just to get the most out of your experience. What did you go there to do? Did you go there to travel? Were you able to see everything you wanted to see? Did you meet people? Did you have meaningful relationships? Second point is definitely, I just want to stress, just meeting people and making friends and feeling like you belong. It's also really fun and nice just hitting people up and being like, hey, do you want to go travel to like Jackson Hole, or do you want to go travel up to Mammoth? So always having people around and always having good company has also made a huge difference and has really made me happy when I was working there. Third tip is go outdoors, like spend time outdoors, go hiking, go travel, go see the park, go see outside of the park. There's so much to do around, and I know that some people just like stay locked in their dorms all day and like they have a TV, they play video games, and I'm like, we're in Yellowstone National Park, like, I don't know about you, but I want to get the most out of my experience, and I just want to travel and see what's out there. I guess my last point is just enjoy your job, enjoy the people you work with, make meaningful relationships, enjoy doing your job, and enjoy being in a historic building, and enjoy being at a national park. Alright guys, this is pretty much all the advice and just my experience finding the job and interviewing and relocating and just kind of being there. If you do want me to make anything more specific, such as more specifics about how it's like working the front desk, or if you want me to highlight points that I'd recommend you seeing when you're in the park, just let me know in the comments below and I can do a separate video on that. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.